Hi everyone, it's Lynda Light here, and today I'm going to be bringing you part one of a 4-part video series that's called Down to Earth, and I'm bringing you common sense spirituality, and today's portion is called Reclaiming Your Sovereignty. I want to give a little disclaimer in the beginning, and that goes with anybody who's ever reclaimed their personal sovereignty before. You've already done this, you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to put a timestamp down in the description box where I start the decree. It can't hurt to do it again, to say it along with me and reclaim it again. Because during our sleep travels, we can be tricked and we have signed other contracts. It has gone on in the past. Now, what I have been shown, and just as early as this morning, again, is that a lot of this has been cleaned up and a stop has been put to it. There's sort of a truths, if you'll call it that. So I don't see that going on in the future, but if you haven't reclaimed your personal sovereignty yet and stated that with a decree, did soul contract revocations or anything of that nature, I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to give you some simple down-to-earth guidance, and you can skip ahead to the decree if you've already done this. If you haven't done it and you don't understand why, I'm going to provide a little bit of content here in the beginning so that you can see if this resonates with you or not. And if it doesn't, that's perfectly fine. If it does, let's get into it. What reclaiming your personal sovereignty means. It means that you are taking full, complete, and 100% responsibility for everything that happens in your life. Everything that happens to you, which might have been your perception, perceiving that things happen to you, instead of you drawing things to you for experience that might have been in a greater divine plan or a higher blueprint for your life that you agreed to have experience in this lifetime. So taking personal responsibility means accepting at a very, very fundamental level that you are a spirit having a human experience. You are here to grow and learn. You are here to assist, to resolve karma. I've heard people mention it's like a rehab on earth, emotional rehab or a spiritual rehab center. Well, it's also meant for your experience so that you can further expand. But there are other people that are here to assist, that volunteer to come down and help other beings who may have been stuck. And if you resonate with that, and you feel like things are still out of your control and things happen to you, yet you know you have a greater purpose here. You just can't seem to get unstuck. Well, perhaps you have some contracts that are getting in your way because there's still interference happening. So you're taking back your personal sovereignty, your free will, which the invocation for reestablishing the universal law of free will. I actually walked through something really simple in my last video. If you haven't done that yet, go back and watch that first. And you're invoking the universal law of free will. And now with your free will, you're going to take that self-empowerment and you're going to reclaim your personal sovereignty. So that's what this is really about. And it's really, really powerful. It means that you also are no longer blaming outside forces. So if you're ready for this and you're ready for this next step, you no longer see the outside world and you in it as a victim. You're giving that up. It's over. Put that up on a shelf. Thank it for being a teacher and serving its purpose to bring you to where you are right now. So taking full responsibility. Also, that resonates with the law of attraction, because when you're accepting that you're a spiritual being and you're having a human experience, the law of attraction means that you are like a magnet. So you're bringing things to you and repelling other things that resonate in your energy field with your unique energetic signature. And in that law of attraction, there's things that govern that. So there's contracts that can allow and disallow things to come to you. There can be things that are implanted into your energetic fields, which I'm not going to get into all of that in this video series, perhaps at a later one. But when you are reestablishing your personal sovereignty. You're saying without your conscious, full, aware knowledge and agreement that these things cannot exist in your field anymore. You're taking that personal responsibility with your conscious understanding. And so if things were done and you had that amnesia and that veil of forgetfulness before you came into body, but also when you wake up, you're traveling at night in your dreams. And if you do things and you're not consciously aware of it here, it almost is like, that's not really fair, right? You should be fully aware of everything that you sign and everything that's happening in your life. So let's reclaim that sovereignty, shall we? The next section that we're going to talk about is going to be about why personal sovereignty is necessary. And the simple answer to that is this is a free will planet. And what that means to people who have not claimed their personal sovereignty, it's sort of like you're still plugged into the matrix and the dark can still keep you down or rule you, if you will. And that doesn't feel right. Something's off. You know there's something missing. You know there's a bigger purpose and it's just out of sight. So part of the rules of the game, the rules of the game of life are amnesia. There's a lot of rules. I'm not going to get into them. You can search them, but you probably are already finding some of these rules in your own universal law of this and law of that. And when you incarnate, there's rules of engagement. And one of the ones I'm going to talk about here is that the rules of engagement for being in a human body and the dark forces being allowed to do these things, because there's a logical side to your brain that says, this shouldn't be happening. Where's the white hats? Why are they letting this happen? Or why does God let this happen? Well, one thing you got to understand is everybody's playing by rules. And even though it seems like the dark ones are breaking the rules and, well, we didn't agree to this and we didn't agree to that, there's certain collective things that happen not because we agreed to it. We were fighting over those things. But when a collective as a whole is vibrating at this level, they've all come down, and individually each person has signed contracts to be here. You may have volunteered to come in and incarnate into this earth plane. You may have come in as a volunteer. You may have come in for a rehab. Whatever reason you came in, you have a mission down here. You have a purpose. You have a reason to be here. And when you're down here and you're incarnating on your way down, you sign certain contracts. And you might be tricked into thinking that you're resolving karma, or maybe you are resolving karma, but you might be tricked into signing a certain contract thinking that you're coming in for a certain experience. And then at the last minute, oh, by the way, you're not going to remember any of this. So you don't remember the contracts. You don't remember the agreements that you made. And think of how, like when a bill gets signed, there's all these addendums. I think I spoke about that in the last video. A lot of times there's additional things that are added on that have absolutely nothing to do with you, and yet it's like a prison for you. So here you are having these experiences that seem unfair, they don't seem right. You've resolved your karma. You said, I've done all the healing work for this, I've resolved this 1,000,000 times, I've gotten layers and layers and layers of the onion, I've cut it, all the way down, I've done the work, but why aren't things changing? And there's so many people out there that have this sense that even if you're not awake and aware and doing it that way, most people that have that sense know, and they are doing the work, but there's people that are just waking up that are just like, I didn't know any of this. So to keep it simple, I'm going to just explain that the rules of engagement have to do with, we'll just say the good guys and the bad guys for sake of polarity. Let's just say that the bad guys have to disclose to you what they're doing, and they can do whatever they want down here. So if they're ruling the world, they're controlling the finances, they're spraying the things, they're putting stuff in vaccines, or they're poisoning the food, all of these things that you say, that wouldn't really be going on, or they're not maybe you're awakened to the fact, yeah, some of this is going on. Maybe all of this is going on. Why is that happening if you're saying, I don't agree to this personally? It's because there's a whole collective that hasn't raised the vibration up high enough to say no more. And that's actually what's happening right now. We're raising up high enough. But individually, each person has to do that as an individual, not as a collective. As an individual, you have to become awake and aware enough to say, I do not accept this no more. And so we are trying to help everybody in the collective to understand that individually, when everybody gets, or we get that 100th monkey effect, then enough people that have done it individually can raise the whole vibration of the collective high enough that the veil will come down completely. We'll see what's going on. It's already happening. There's disclosures, there's things coming out all the time, but personal disclosures are revealing themselves very rapidly to people. I'm digressing here. The point is, the rules of engagement for the dark side is that they have to disclose what they're doing. And they do, all the time. They do it through movies. I mean, that might not seem fair, and it's not, because the whole thing's an illusion so that we have our own self-erected prison. Some people call this a prison planet. Well, the prison's really self-erected with your own energetic allowances and contracts and things that you've agreed to come in to do. So now it's time to clean that up so that you have full and conscious awareness, connection with your inner source reestablished. The guidance that comes in that you can trust is coming from you and not any outside influence, because there was a lot of that going on too. And so that you just can have a sense of purpose again, knowing that when you're following your inner guidance, you are doing what you came here to do, and your life just gets easier and these things fall away naturally. And personal power also means taking active participation personally on your part, actively participating in co-creating your life, not just going with the flow and not just letting the energies just blow you around, or you just feel tired because the storm has taken you adrift down the sea, down the river. You know, having that sense of purpose again, finding your birthright is your birthright is your right to know and be fully present in your life, to be here, why you came here, what you have to share with the rest of the world. And you know it's something important, or you wouldn't be here. So part of your birthright includes being able to revoke these contracts, and whether you sign them consciously or unconsciously, willingly or unwillingly, under duress, deceived, trickery, or whether you've just totally forgotten that any of this has happened. You have a birthright to reclaim your personal sovereignty for your life. We're going to talk about how to reclaim your personal sovereignty. In this brief section, we're just going to talk about setting the intention in your heart space that you want to do this, making this a fully conscious decision that you are now ready to step up to the plate and actively be a participant in the game of life, in the game of your life, self-empowerment. The inner work commitment is also necessary, that you are going to be committed to yourself to be awake and aware and taking full and 100% responsibility for everything that happens in your life. Everything. From this present moment forward. And you're going to forgive yourself for everything in the past. That's part of the inner work. And you're also going to, when you reclaim your personal sovereignty, you're going to recite it out loud. So make sure you can recite along with me. I'm going to use an example in the next section, and we're going to say it together. Make sure you're in a place where you feel empowered. If you need to get some crystals or light some incense or candles, whatever it is that helps you feel sacred and empowered, you're going to do this. So set your intentions for your guides and your energy field to be at the right vibration. Have some sips of water. Get yourself in a nice calm state of peacefulness, peaceful bliss. And realize that your contracts, you were conned into some of these contracts. Realize that when you get rid of these, it is really a step forward in personal freedom. And it's a wonderful thing. I'm going to read an example of a personal sovereignty and soul revocation that was written by Mary Jane Banks. I find it to be one of the most comprehensive, cover everything type of soul revocations that I have ever seen when you're reclaiming your personal sovereignty. So we're going to read this together. And yeah, so here we go. Declaration of full sovereignty of my I Am presence in this embodiment. I call on my higher self to merge with me, guide me, and assist me in declaring, embodying, and enacting 100% sovereignty of my being in this and every now moment, in alignment with my I Am presence and in accordance with my chosen purpose, goals, and intentions for this lifetime. I call upon the elemental, angelic, ascended, cosmic, and astral realms to witness my declaration, to assist in upholding the integrity of its intention, and to co-create with me in manifesting my highest potentials personally, in unity with the One, and in service to Earth as we graduate to the next level of our evolution. In declaring my full sovereignty and with the guidance of my higher self and I Am presence, I assert autonomy over my physical and non-physical embodiment, my energetic vibration, and all resulting emanations. I disallow any interference to distort or delay the fulfillment of my purpose in this lifetime, whether that interference be well-meaning, misguided, self-interested, or malevolent. This includes any and all overt and covert intentions, attempts, and actions to limit, separate, distract, manipulate, disempower, traumatize, dominate, control, or harvest any aspect or increment of my energy and consciousness. I reject and eject any such interference, demanding that it cease and desist immediately and retroactively, including any trickery designed to countermand, usurp, or sidestep the intention of this declaration. In making this declaration, I acknowledge and accept full responsibility for my being and actions. I continue to fervently request overt guidance and assistance from my higher self and I Am presence, which I in no way consider to be interference. I commit to both hearing and enacting that guidance, and in turn to listening to and guiding the elemental consciousness that contributes to my personal collective consciousness this lifetime. To the extent that I may be unwilling or unable to hear and enact the guidance of my higher self or I Am presence, I request that the guidance continue to be given in various ways such that I can understand and act on it, and until I am able to understand and to act on it. In full sovereignty, I also request and accept additional energetic assistance of my guides, my soul, star, human, and ancestral families, the elemental, angelic, ascended, and cosmic realms, and any other sources, provided that it accords with this declaration and is in my highest good, the highest good of Earth, and in accordance with my purpose, goals, intentions for this lifetime. I choose to heal all fear, trauma, and limitations standing in the way of my fulfilling my highest potential and purpose in this lifetime. I ask that my higher self and I Am presence, in co-creation with the elemental, angelic, ascended, cosmic, and ancestral realms, assist me in healing, transmuting, and transcending all fear, limitation, separation, and amnesia, preventing me from embodying my full integrated sacred masculine and sacred feminine power, love, and wisdom. I ask that my higher self and I Am presence direct my healing such that I embody and offer the optimal vibration in any circumstance, that I manifest optimal health and wholeness in and through my physical, emotional, mental, and etheric bodies. that I fluidly evolve according to my path and purpose, that I awaken to and regain all the memories and gifts held in my causal body, that I function with energy, clarity, balance, effectiveness, and efficiency in the changing energetics of Earth, and that I integrate the healing, its lessons, and its energy in the most beneficial way possible, and that all this unfolds at the most conducive yet expeditious pace possible. I intend that in healing myself in this now moment, I heal other aspects of myself across time and space, as well as splintered aspects of other consciousnesses trapped in time, who through the domino effect will attain the freedom to return to where they belong, to heal, and to contribute to the unity we seek to co-create in order to graduate from this plane and take our next evolutionary steps. I offer healing, compassion, and forgiveness wherever it is needed or wanted to free all aspects of consciousness, including my own, to allow all to return to its natural order in wholeness and unity. And so it is. That was written by Mary Jane Banks, and she was inspired by Andrew Bartzis, who is considered the galactic historian. It's very important to write your own decrees. Now, you just did the beginning steps, and that was a very, very broad and general, over and full encompassing type of personal sovereignty and soul revocation that you can do. But you can see in the examples, there may be very specific needs that you feel are necessary, and you may want to include in your personal decree or sovereignty. You can do that anytime you want. So resources that I can provide for you include the link to Michelle Walling's article. It's also pinned at the top of my Twitter account at Energy Lightwork, and that's in the description box. It's a very comprehensive article, and I'm referring to that one and deferring to that one because Michelle did a wonderful, wonderful job. And a lot of the resources in there, you will be guided to go and follow. There's so many links in there and so much information that you will be guided to go where you're needed. I would just like to say, though, don't make it complicated. Get the information you need to get for your research end, but then just know with your heart, with your intention, follow what resonates. Share with your friends what resonates once you find what works for you. And spread it around, because everybody needs to do their individual part so that the whole collective can hit that 100th monkey effect and really lift that to the point where we're going to have that veil come crashing down. There's a lot of disclosures that are happening on a personal level, and there's a lot of disclosures that are going to be happening as within, so without, on the outer world. So keep your eyes, and not just to the skies, but keep your eyes on what's going on. And really watch, really try to see this from a detached point of view. Keep your perspective aligned in the middle. Keep it aligned with your purpose for being here, your spiritual purpose. And that's what's going to give you that calm, centered peace and stillness that you need throughout your day and moving forward. So thank you for being here. I really, truly appreciate all of you, and I wish you a wonderful day. Namaste.